Welcome, welcome, welcome. Want to do something a little bit different at the beginning. Hello, everyone. This is Lisa with Art of Inspiration. Hello, everyone. Hello, Dee Dee. Hello, Ange. Oh, I have to see who you are, dear. Hello, Ange Love Tarot. Hello, dear. Hello, Miss Tawanda. I had to do that breaking news, y'all. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for coming. I had to do the breaking news because let me tell you, honey, there has been some things going on today. And I'm like, the full moon isn't even here yet. Everything is going on. There's just things happening. If you all saw my community post, it's like I had people breaking up, making up all within 3 hours of each other. People angry about certain stuff. People just misinformation, just telling stories. I was like, what in the world is going on? I said, I got to get on here and talk to you guys tonight about this gosh darn full moon. So, hello, Sarah. Hello, Giggle. Hello, Miss Victoria. Oh, I have to see how to. Heaven Franklin. Hello, I love that name as well. So, you guys, I'm not sure exactly how long we're going to be on. We'll talk about this full moon as it's getting ready to come in. Again, if you saw my post, we're going to get together tomorrow and we're going to do the readings. You know how I like to do the readings by sign. We'll do those as well. And honey. The first thing I have to say to everybody as we're just letting some more people get in the room is remember, this is just a transit. Everybody can we pump our brakes and breathe because the moon is simply transiting. Now, I should have, while we're on here, I'm actually going to go here and check out the current transits as well. Because let me tell you something, y'all. It has been crazy. This week has been absolutely nuts. You would have thought the moon was full for the entire week. You would have thought the moon was full for the entire week because people have been acting a fool. I don't know if that's happened to any of y'all, but people have literally been acting a plum. Oh my God, that's why. Hold on, y'all. Wait a minute, I got to back to my breaking news. Hold on. I have breaking news right here. Let me see if I can find my breaking news. I don't think I have any music playing right now, do I? We're going to have some breaking news. So the first part of this is going to be us talking about some of this other stuff. Breaking news. Breaking news. Here we go. Breaking news. Breaking news. Let me just tell y'all a little bit about what's going on with the current transit. I don't know if I can bring up this chart that quickly. I'll bring it up in the other chart. I see what's going on around these here parts. We got the moon running around here in Pisces. Oh, my good Lord. Okay, here we go. I know y'all are just like, lady, will you get your stuff together? All right, here we go. You've been focused this week, Giggle? Jupiter is direct. Yes. Breaking news, Jupiter is finally direct, people. So we can finally get those big ideas going and get those big expansions going. But I'm going to tell you something. Hey, SR. And I think I said hello to Sarah. Your ex had a complete breakdown and came full circle. I'm going to tell you something. So let me just kind of put this out here a little bit. So the moon is transiting Pisces right now. And it is at 13 degrees Pisces, coming up real close, darn near on top of Neptune. So it's going, which is in retrograde. So if people are kind of been a little bit delusional, you know, I've talked to some people that I'm just like, really? This is what we're doing today? This is what we're doing? I'm telling you, oh y'all, I just can't even. So if it feels like people's like they just don't have a grip on reality, or they've got a really intense grip on reality all of a sudden, and now all of the self-sabotage stuff that they've been doing, now they're finally like, ooh, oops, I've been effing up. Yeah, my mouth might be a little loose today. Um, so child, I don't know. All I know is it's just cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Hey, Trinae. Hey, everybody. All right, y'all. Let's get into this, okay? So that's the breaking news for the current transit. Is the moon is running around in Pisces, child. Oh. So I'm gonna tell you, with that moon running around in Pisces today, and Mercury in retrograde in Scorpio, there's a lot of truth serum being poured. People's fantasies are coming out, but I will say that the reality of the fantasy is kind of being exposed. That's how I'm going to interpret this, that the reality of the fantasy is being exposed. So where they may have been a little, um, now their emotions are kind of coming in line, and they're saying, "Oh my goodness, I've had this attitude or this thought, or I've looked at something a certain way for so long, and um, now I can see it for what it is." Not only that, it's that deep stuff, right? Because you've got Neptune going retrograde in Pisces, and you've got Mercury going retrograde in Scorpio. So there's a lot of truth serum when we have Mercury, excuse me, when we have Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. There's a lot of truth serum that comes out. People's underbelly, their deep, what they've really been thinking, but ain't said, comes out. Now, not everybody's probably going to think of it that way, but I sure as heck do. Hey, hello, everybody. All right. Yes, he was delusional. Child. All right, let's get into this here. Okay. We are going to do this. We are going to do this. And we're going to do this. Okay. This is the full moon chart. The full moon is going to occur on the 12th of November at 13:34. What time? Hold on. Sorry, guys. I believe it's 13:34. That should be Eastern Standard Time. Eastern Standard Time, okay? I don't know what y'all saw there. Anyway, 13:34 Eastern Standard Time. So 1:34 is going to be the height of the full moon if you're in the East Coast. 12:34 if you are on the. Sorry about that. What you guys just saw. 12:34 p.m. on Central, and 10:34 a.m. on the West Coast. All right, so let's get into this, guys. Let's get into this. Hey, Sassy. Hey, Janelle. All right, here we go. Once again, if you're not familiar with what a full moon is in lunar terms, that is when lunar transit terms. That's when we have the moon directly opposing the sun. I'm going to circle Mercury too. Direct opposition. So what can we expect with the full moon? The full moon is when how we view a thing, how we see a thing, when it's fully illuminated. You have full energy because the moon is in full reflection of the solar light, right? That we can really truly see the secrets, right? The secrets are illuminated. The moon card in the tarot, It's all about secrets. It's all about walking spiritually. It's all about that kind of walking by moonlight. So, what was done in the dark has finally come to the light, basically. So, this is a great time to release. This is a great time to manifest. This is a great time to really kind of settle up, right? It's kind of time to settle the debts, to settle up the accounts and say, you know what? Okay, I can finally let this thing go, whatever it is. The moon is going to be in Taurus. So Taurus, as we know, is that sign of self-made money, self-made family, routine, all of that. How that it's an earth sign. It's a fixed earth sign. So all of those the things that are very foundational, right? So it's highlighting the foundational. What are we to let go of in the foundational? How are we to change, release, manifest? There's going to be a lot about career, family, relationships, close relationships, who we have with us on the bus ride as we go along, who's sitting next to us on the bus, who needs to get kicked off the bus. This is your stop, exit. Okay? Now, the sun is in Scorpio. We know what Scorpio is, right? Scorpio being the eighth house, Scorpio being the house of intimacy, Scorpio being the house of contracts, Scorpio being the house of leveraging other people's assets. What can I leverage from you to make good with me, right? How can we work together in that realm? It is also the loyalty sign. It is you riding with me. You are ride or die, or you gonna have to get off, right? Get out of here. I'm not trying to hear you. Not trying to see you. Move it around. It is all those deep, dark underworld things we don't like to talk about. So that's on display. If I was just to take just those two planets, also with Mercury retrograde hanging out right there, darn near conjunct, basically 1 or 2 degrees away from the sun here. If I were just to take those three right there, I would be able to tell you just from that, hello, governor, it's time to go deep, really look at yourself. That's why I titled this Check Yourself Before You Wreck Yourself. Okay? And a lot of the reason why I'm saying that, now you have to understand that right now the moon is right here. So let me see if I can make a nice little crescent here. The moon is basically like chilling out right here. So that's why we're getting the delusional stuff happening right here. Okay? And it's moving this direction. It's going to be moving through Aries, past Uranus in retrograde, and it's going to land here over the next few days. Today is what? The 7th? No, today's the 6th. So between now and 6 days from now, it's going to finish transiting through Pisces, through Aries, all right? Past Chiron, past our deep hurts, and past Uranus, everything's got to change. And it's going to plant right there. So it's kind of gaining steam. I'm going to talk about this. I don't usually talk about the approach into the landing spot, but it's gaining this steam. So we're going through all this delusional kind of, how have we dreamt about a thing? How have we seen a thing? And maybe the relationships that we've been seeing up until now, maybe actually they need to be changed, right? Or maybe they're not exactly what it seems, because you've got the trine of Neptune here and the sun. The sun is approaching. It's kind of at the point of this full moon. It'll be past really kind of the trine, but it's agreeing with it. So you're able to see, right, how people really are deep down inside, what their intentions have been towards you. And they are able now to kind of see where they may have lost it, missed it, been wrong. How it was just kind of a dream. That could be good, that can be bad. I'm not assigning a good or bad to it. I'm just saying it is what it is. When we get through that deep Piscean, spiritual, moody kind of self sabotage area, and we come past the universe's spot where Chiron is right now in this galaxy, the place of deep, intimate wound that we keep getting wounded. So you might, in the next day or two, you might actually begin to kind of feel more like, man, you know what? Every darn time this person does this to me, every darn time I do a thing that I think is going to work out, because, Aries is like fiery and it's cardinal and it's like, yes, let's do it, let's do it, let's do it, let's go for it. And every time I go for it, I get hurt with these in this particular scenario. So be paying attention to the particular scenarios, right? The particular scenarios where you get hurt the most. Historically, over and over again. Could be people, could be places, could be things, it could be anything. But pay attention to the scenarios when this happens over the next few days. Remember, guys, the moon, it's a 28-day cycle, so it never stays in one place very long. So your emotions are very quick, right? They're quick moving. So don't think it's going to last always. So if anybody came to you, like, you said, who is it that said they came to them? Dee Dee, your ex came to you and was just like, baby, I was wrong. Baby, I was really, really wrong. You know what I'm saying? Take that and run with it, girl, because I don't think that's going to happen again for a little while. Anyway, take it and run, child. Take it and run. So be looking at that. Also, over the next, until the 20th of November, I'm going to put this warning out too. From now until the 20th of November, guys, communication is going to could be a tad bit contentious. It could be kind of difficult to even put your finger on or be able to verbalize what it is that you feel deep down inside in this Scorpio area here, in that deep underbelly of self. Even it might be difficult to really verbalize how you're feeling. You might end up having a whole bunch of arguments, guys, and I really saw that today. I was like, the moon ain't even full, and there's a ton of arguments happening. Miscommunication, disinformation, just incorrect perception. So be very careful. Choose your words carefully always, but especially between now and the 20th. So let's get back to the full moon on the 12th. Okay, so this is really going to be focusing on what changes, because remember, we still got Uranus is still hanging out in Taurus. It's going to be there till 2026. So just get ready. By the time 2026, 5 years, 6 years from now, things with us on a very home front level, very personal level, are going to look very different than they do now. So just expect that. And I think there's going to be a lot of also personal technology. This is kind of a forecast. This is a freebie. We're going to see a lot of personal technology as well. Another big jump in that area. We're seeing it now with the smart home kind of thing. But so there's the upheaval is happening, right? So this is to focus on what daily routines, this is what I do all the time, every day, all day, twice on Sundays. These are the people I always have around me. These are the people I always, yeah. Focus in on that and really look at, do they belong? What is their true intention? Okay. Don't look at this as it's extremely negative, although it can feel a little wonky. And I'm going to tell you why it's going to feel pretty aggressive, because we still got Mars over here in Libra transiting. That's almost out of Libra. That is the relationship house, the balance house, the collaboration house, the house of harmony. Everybody get along. That is also, though, the house of law, the house of justice. So don't be shocked if over the next little while here, as Mars is making its final push out of Libra, do not be shocked if you start seeing people get some of that karma. If you start seeing some judgment happening, okay? Don't be shocked, cuz it's coming. Mars kind of likes to make a big bad splash right before it leaves. Don't wish karma on people, okay? But I'm just saying, don't be surprised if over the next probably about week or two, you're like, dang, I didn't know that was going to happen, homie. And it did. Or dang, I've been waiting on that to happen to so and so. Mm-hmm. It happened. So, what else do we have going on here? So, like I said, we talked about this Neptunian trine in with the Sun and Mercury in retrograde and Neptune in Pisces in retrograde. Um, Pisceans, don't be surprised if Pisceans kind of do their little deep dive right about now. Don't be surprised if they're kind of doing the Finding Nemo thing. Get your fish finders out because they're going to be down there. Because they don't necessarily want their underbelly shown. Okay? They don't want their underbelly shown. If you notice, most of the action during this full moon is happening in the outer zodiac signs with a lot of outer planets. Uranus is the only outer planet that's in a personal sign. By that, I mean, guys, so right, remember that Aries through Virgo are the personal signs, evolutionary wise. Libra is the first sign where we're relating to other people. We've come out of our ego state and we're relating to other people and how other people relate to us. There's a lot of action going on outside of us. What does that tell me as we're looking at this moon? That tells me that we're finally able to see clearly on a personal level how all this external stuff is hitting us and who externally really needs to be around us and we need to take with us and where we need to be placed externally. What is our position externally? Uranus right here in retrograde in Taurus with this moon, while they're not conjunct, right? It's transiting in the same sign. It's really revolutionizing how we see ourselves, where we see ourselves. Don't be surprised if during this time period up until from now, I would say almost to the end of the year, but definitely during this time period, if you finally kind of get this aha moment of, wait, this is kind of the career path I need to be taking, or wait, this might be the next level in the job, or this might be something that I can start new, a business, because Scorpio is the house of contracts as well. Now there might be a slight delay because and a slight hiccup because we've got Mercury in retrograde, but that doesn't mean we can't get the initial idea. Okay, that doesn't mean we can't get this into focus and then move forward. Okay. What else do we have going on here? Now, these planets are not necessarily aspecting anything major, but I do want to discuss them. So we do have Jupiter direct, yay, in Sagittarius. This is, although, again, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's quincunxing. It's not really doing much as far as with the moon, semi-sextiling the sun. But again, feeling very expansive. It's being very benevolent also with Venus in Sag. So this here, this is benevolent, so we're going to make it green. This right here happening, this transit right here. I feel like we're going to also feel very calm. We're going to see the beauty. We're going to see the necessity. We're going to see how expanding in these areas is really going to be beneficial to us, and be excited about it. Be able to be, and even if you're not excited, just be comfy with it. Be like, you know what? This might be a little bit like outside of my comfort zone, with this whole Uranus thing happening down here, right? It might be a little bit of outside of my comfort zone. However, my goodness, does it feel good? My goodness, can I see in the future how this would be beneficial to me, how it's liberating for me, how it can agree with my life path, and how this can help me really move forward on a personal level and then interpersonal level with others. So I would also say, again, Return of the X right here. If I'm going to talk about love for a second, we got Return of the X, Revenge of the X, Return of the X, with the Mercury in retrograde in Scorpio. It might be easier for y'all to get along here, but also be very careful with this Neptunian energy in Pisces that you don't also think, well, maybe we could get back together and it'd be different this time. I mean, it might be. I don't want to dog nobody's ex out, but I'm just saying, like, you might be willing to kind of give in and be like, we had a great time, right? You got Jupiter and Sag. Jupiter, Sagittarius is known for a good time, right? They party. We can have a great time and a lot of fun, a lot of laughs. And Venus is like, oh, and it all felt so good. And it was just so awesome. Child, look, okay? Like, those were some great, awesome memories. But don't fall for the okie doke, okay? You heard it here. Lisa told you right here, do not fall for the okie doke. Okay, again, look at it with the discerning sun of Scorpio. Discern it and get your discernment on with the moon. Okay. The other thing that's happening that's a little interesting to me is we do have Pluto and Saturn sextiling or in agreement, kind of that cousin agreement, that supportive role with the moon. And then, excuse me, 1, 2, 3. That's not sextiling. Trining, excuse me. We have it trining in full agreement with the moon. And then we have it sextiling the sun over here in Scorpio. What does that mean, Lise? That means the transformative energy of Pluto and the foundational structural energy of Saturn. Although those two energies don't necessarily get along the best and they're pretty well conjunct, it's going to basically say, listen, you can transform how you're feeling. You need to change foundationally. We get it. We're okay with it. And it's going to temper the need to fully break bad that Uranus gives you. Uranus gives you that energy of, you know what, I can't stand you. I'm going to pack my stuff. I'm out, right? We're not trying to hear nothing else. We out. We want freedom. Freedom, right? We got to have it. Right, we gotta have it, right? We gotta have the freedom. We gotta break bad. I mean, even me personally, I've been like dealing with this. Do I want to like literally pack up everything and take a position with my company in Seattle, Washington? Like, literally, that's how much freedom I've been wanting lately. I mean, literally just change everything. So, I'm with y'all. I feel it too. But that Pluto and Saturn up there in Capricorn, as the moon comes into Taurus and will be trining it, is tempering my emotions. It's saying, all right, good. Look, girlfriend, I get it. You want to move on. You want some transformation, some freedom, some newness. But how can we structure this so we just don't blow everything up? Right? Because, if you just go along with those Uranus transits, you be done blowed up all your entire life. Okay? Your whole everything is just poof, gone. So, this is really saying, hey, calm it down, poo-poo. It's all right. Let's work it slow, slow, slow. Um, but still transform in a way that personally feels freeing and liberating, and we can still accomplish the same thing. Um, so that's, so if I'm gonna put this all in summation, right? The full moon, at this full moon on the 12th, as we're leading up to it, let's really analyze people. Let's analyze relationships. Let's analyze our career, our path, our life purpose. Are we really living out our life purpose? And I know we want to, right? We're feeling this pull up, but who do we and what do we need to let go of here? Release, so that we can really fully begin to manifest the fullness of purpose. Who do we need to release? I keep going back to people because we're in this external mode, right? Who do we need to release in order to get that freedom of movement, in order to get that freedom to be who we're meant to be, right? Who is it? What is it? And allow the expansion to happen. Be okay with the fact that, you know what, things might be different and I'm just stepping out. Allow that dream, that daydream, right? That daydreaminess is trining the sun. It's okay to allow that to happen. Now, I'm not saying go full on, just go with it fully, but those personal dreams that you've had, it's time to really let them go, let them be released. All right? Um, so allow yourself to have that conversation, your higher self, with Creator, with the universe, with God, to say, hey, here I am, right? Here I am. I'm ready to step forward. Show me the way. What do I need to move around in my own personal life? What patterns do I need to disrupt so that I can achieve it? Woo, honey, that was a lot. But don't go so far, y'all, that you can't come back. Okay, be very careful about that. Be very careful. I want to answer a couple of the questions in the chat. Hey, Jeanette. Hey, SR. Um, Giggle Glimmer asks, what zodiac signs will be the most affected by this? Um, well, certainly Taurus, of course. If you're a Taurus moon, especially. Um, I like to think that I always present this very collectively, because especially these outer planet transits, or any of the transits really, there's a collective aspect and then there's a personal aspect, right? So any of the transits can affect you. Um, who's going to have the hardest time with it? Well, of course, it's going to affect Scorpio and Taurus. You don't really have a lot going on in the at the bottom half of that chart, other than the Uranus transit. Um, so I would say, if you want to know exactly how it's going to affect your natal, if you've got your natal chart, kind of check the transits and see how that's going to affect it. You could reach out to me for that as well. But of course, the two main players here, Scorpio and Taurus. I would say that if you've got strong Neptunian placements, Pisces is going to be pretty well affected. But Pisces has been very affected a lot because there's been this fluctuation of what's real, what's not. What can I really hold on to? It's been a little bit easier for Pisceans right now because the sun is in Scorpio, because Mercury is there. It's allowing them a little bit more latitude to actually speak their mind. And I'm talking sun signs now, not necessarily moon. I'm talking sun, which is really the basis of who you are, right? Um, so I would say Scorpio, Pisces, and probably Taurus, if I was going to say any of them more affected than others. So Libra, Sun, I giggle. I don't know that it's going to, it's gonna probably you've probably been a little bit more moody as far as like emotionally. Maybe there's that deep brooding has been happening a little bit more than normal, but that's probably without knowing your chart, probably more so because of the Neptunian aspect of it, aspecting your personal natal chart. So you're gonna show up as a Scorpio. You've probably, honestly, with your Libra sun and Mars transiting Libra, you've probably been a tad bit more aggressive than normal. Some Libras are very outspoken and aggressive. And aggressive is not necessarily a bad word. So outspoken than others. But you've probably, if you're not one that's typically outspoken, you've probably been a lot more outspoken because Mars is just like, I'm done. We're doing it, right? Taurus sun. Ooh. Yes, Janelle. You're gonna have very interesting. This is, your Taurus sun. You're probably more impacted by the Uranus transit than anything. You're probably much more affected by the Uranus transit because that's upsetting your apple cart in both love and in just who you are at a base individual. Um, if I'm going to look at this chart and tell you by sign, just in general. So for Aquarians, 1, 2, 3, it's happening in your fourth house. I'm just grabbing Aquarius. Aquarians, it's in your fourth house. That's your house of home. There's probably been a lot of upheaval going on in your house and your daily routine and changes. I think that this full moon is going to confirm some things for you, though. So if you've been making changes like in your daily, in your career and stuff, for Aquarians, it's definitely going to solidify that and make you feel much better about it. Pisceans, we kind of talked about. Aries, I think your apple cart is being more upset because you're dealing with a lot, Aries sun, dealing with some of the deep things you didn't want to deal with, those wounded. You're probably feeling like you're getting hit over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. That's because of the Chiron. But this particular full moon, it's probably, for all signs, it's probably going to make you feel better, or at least show you how you should deal with on an emotional level the changes we've been going through. So it's a bit of a reprieve. Taurus, I feel for you, baby. The sun is opposing your sun. So what you're seeing is just like, oh, I don't want to see all this stuff. I like keeping my stuff back here because you're a hard charging bull, right? So you're just like, I'm this big bad bull. And you don't get to see my weaknesses. So Taurus sun probably feels like your weaknesses are being put on display. And that's not something you're very comfortable with. Hey, you and your feelings. Um, Outspoken, yeah. Hey, Divine Butterfly, I ain't seen you in a while. How are you, baby? Lots of aha moments, yes, sweetie. Um, Gemini, y'all could probably take this mess or leave it. Not really doing too much. It's in your 12th house. So you're probably foundationally on a very deep spiritual level. There's probably some very foundational things that you felt were correct on an esoteric and a spiritual level. That might be changing for you. And Scorpio, in your relationship, y'all probably having good sex. Or you should be, or you might not be having none at all. Your relationships, Gemini, are probably on tilt right now. It's like one way or the other. With Mercury, with your home planet, Mercury in retrograde in Scorpio, either you're communicating a lot of deep feelings, you're seeing a lot of deep things, and you're just like, I didn't know you felt like that. I didn't know you was what? Well, how did we get here, Gemini? That's probably how you're feeling right now. If I were to look at this chart, um, you've been in hermit mode. Um, Cancer, that's in your this is going to happen in your sun sign 11th house, not personal natal, just general sun. um so friendships, you're probably changing up a lot of friendships. There's probably a lot of people that are moving in and out of your life, or that some moving out that have been there for a long time, and new people coming in, people that you thought you could trust out. And so Cancers, this is a moon that's going to show us, yeah, you did the right thing. You cool. Everything's cool in the game. Yep, I'm getting there, Jeanette. We're going around the wheel. And I don't know why I started with Aquarius. Leo. So the sun is in your fourth house. Uh, with Mercury in retrograde in that fourth house of family and home. Leo, y'all are y'all are having to look at some things in your fourth house, much like Aquarius with the moon. Y'all having to look at some things in your fourth house that you're just like, I don't really want to see it. I don't really want to transform it, but I know I have to. You might be feeling a little bit guilty too, Leo, because Leos always want to look good, and they want to put their best foot forward, so to speak. They want everything on externally to look great, to feel great. They want everybody around them to look great, to feel great, to be great. Very loyal. And so there might be some people, Leos, for you guys that are feeling very disloyal, and you don't know how to communicate it, or you may feel you've let some people down and you don't know how to communicate it. The moon being in your 10th house, excuse me, 10th house of career, there's probably a lot of upheaval going on in your career and your day-to-day life. And you're looking at wanting to change some things needing to be changed, and Leos are fixed. They're not trying to do that. Virgo, moon's trining you. 9th house, travel, wisdom, philosophy. So you're probably really philosophical about a lot of things. You're just kind of feeling like, hey, it is kind of what it is. You're, in your interpersonal, foundational routine, you're kind of seeing the wisdom of changing up your routine. You're immutable Earth, so it's a little bit easier for you to change up that routine. Seeing how changing the routine is going to be beneficial to you. So this is going to be very benevolent in that regard. And the sun is in your third house, the mind. Yeah. So your mind right now, like the way you've been viewing a thing, thought about a thing, and all that kind of stuff, intellectualizing a thing is actually really agreeing with the philosophical side of c'est la vie, right? So I think this is going to be a good moon for you guys. Yep, I haven't got to Capricorn yet. Yes, you got rid of everybody. That's fine. Now it's time for you to bring some people in. No problem, sweetheart. I'm getting there. Libra. We kind of talked about that Mars aspect in there. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. It's in your eighth house. Ooh. Libra, your mergers, your intimate partners, that's all changing up. That's being shaken. And probably some intimate partners, friends, things like that that you thought were never going to change. And here's Gemini. Come on, Booger. Come on, Boo Bear. Gem, up, up. Come on. You're like, Mom. She's like, Mom, you don't usually let me up here. Okay, well, whatever. No, I don't want you climbing up my leg. Come on, Booger. Okay, she's not coming. Um, there's a lot of changes in the home front, isn't there? Career wise, there could be some money things that are getting upset right now, or just changing. It doesn't have to be bad. I think this would be a little bit more benevolent for you. Hey, Booger, come on. Ouch, 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 ouch. Don't do that. Okay. Gosh, I hate when she tries to climb up my leg. So yeah, but you're gonna see things clearly. So it could have been really traumatic for you right now, lately over the last probably I would say 3 weeks. Kind of a little crazy for you right now. But I think you're gonna get some good feelings about it. Hi, baby. Scorpio. Well, Scorpio. Well, now, Scorpio. I'm going to move this over so I can see the chat. Change up for the good. Yeah, I think it is change up for the good. Thank you. Hey, Rio. Hey, Christy. Scorpio. Scorpio, for y'all was done in the dark and came to the light, child. Like you were just like, and everybody's cheese is being moved lately. All right, everybody's cheese has been moved. Um, so a lot of the changes you felt were about to happen that have kind of finally shown themselves. You're gonna understand. Thanks, Giggle. You're gonna understand much more fully how to feel about them. Um, you're going to understand that your reactions to them are correct. You're going to finally be able to release some negative feelings probably surrounding it. Being a fixed water sign, you're like, I just had everything in the right order. Everything was fine. Or you're like, I knew that person couldn't be trusted. So I think you're going to be able to release some of that. If there's negative feelings surrounding it, Scorpio, this is your time to release it. Also, Scorpio, do take advantage of that Jupiter in Sag. Do take advantage of Pluto in Capricorn. They're, conjuncting Saturn. So, yeah, it's going to be happening. Could you? In your sixth house. Okay, honey. All right, there you go, baby. Okay, but I need you to stop, like, doing the crawl thing. Okay, so also, so Scorpio also kind of be willing to kind of review your systems that you've had, baby, over here. Thank you. The systems that you've had set up. Okay, now you're going to go down. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Stop. Organizationally, like kind of be willing to reorganize some of your daily routines, and this should actually help you see it clearly, feel it spiritually. Feel it spiritually. No, they're not declawed. I did not declaw them. I did not have them declawed. So that's why I'm like, ouch, 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 ouch. Okay, let's keep it moving. Sagittarius, she is hilarious. And they should be glad that she's like really happy that mom's decided to let her in to her sanctuary. Um, but they're my familiars, if you will. So she needs to be able to be here. Okay. Sag, the full moon is happening in your fifth house. The sun is in your 12th. So, Sag, but the full moon being in your fifth house, the mind, no, that's third house. Okay, romance. So, Sag. Uh, Sagittarius. There's probably going to be a little makeup, breakup. You could get some new love, especially because you got Venus transiting as well. There could be some new love showing up, and you did not expect it. You did not think it was about to happen. This is somebody that you don't typically want to be with. I wish y'all could see her because she is literally curled up on my lap, and I'm like holding her tushy and then scratching on her neck. Um, Booger Bear, come up here. Come on. I know, I love you too. So yeah, Sag, you could actually be getting some new love, and they're going to be very passionate, very good in the you know where department. Over here, stay. No more, not right now. Stay here, down. I never should have let her up. Cappies. Yes, new love. New love for Sag. Cappies. One, two, three. In your fourth house of home. The moon's going to be in your fourth house of home. You've had a lot of change in homes, in your home, in your daily routine. It's been very surprising. It's been very sudden. This moon is going to be really kind to you and allowing you to say, okay, you know what? I can handle it. I can deal with it. I'm all right. I'm going to be okay after a while. Okay. So, I think she is, Jeanette. I'm not sure. Okay, honey, I got you. The sun, Cappies, is in your 11th house. So you're kind of side eyeing a lot of your big, like general groups, right, Cappies? Making sure you're probably having a lot of change in the groups that you're dealing with, that you're interacting in. And it may be kind of hard for you to kind of recognize why you're doing it, but the communication just feels so much better, and you just feel you feel better about it, right? They understand you on a very deep, intimate level. So this is again, it's going to be reassuring. I think overall, yes, her tail is shorter, Jeanette. Um, Overall, I think that for everybody collectively, it's just going to be it's going to be benevolent. It's going to be the moon is really, we might have been feeling some type of way about all the changes that have been going on. However, this moon is going to let us see that it was all for our good. And we just need to release the negative feelings or negative people or just people that just aren't aligning with us anymore. And it's okay because that happens, right? Sometimes people just don't align. It's okay. It happens. That was impromptu zodiac rundown. Okay, Gem. Okay, there we go. Any other questions? I like that. We can answer some questions and I'll shorten this a little bit. Gemini, we're done. Cheese and rice. I gotta brush her. She's shutting. She's getting her winter coat, child, because it done snowed today. Yeah, yeah, Sassy, I said you might have some new love coming in, Sag. That this transit is a good transit right now for you with Venus in your sign and Jupiter still there, at home. I see a sudden union happening or a good ex coming back because this is Return of the Ex, right? So it could be a good, like, an ex that really it's good for you them to come back into your world. I see a good ex. I see that goodness happening. I like it. Do you believe in the feelings being north nodes, south nodes? Victoria, can you tell me a little bit more about what you mean? Do I believe in the feelings being north nodes and south nodes? Can you explain that? Expound on that for me. That's an interesting question. Giggle, you can't be a Sag. Yeah, Sassy might get some bound chicka wow wow. Back it up. Sassy might get some bound chicka wow wow. So I believe in north and south nodes most definitely as evolutionary points. Oh, that's okay. Just let me know what you meant. Um, you don't want no exes unless they've changed for the better. Yeah, I'm telling you, Giggle, like I am just kind of at this point too where I'm not sure that I want the ex period. Unless they have evolved at the same pace that I have. And that's very rare. As the North Nodes being where we should be focusing. Yes, I definitely believe evolutionary, in an evolutionary manner, North nodes are where we should be focusing, where we should be aspiring to or working towards. South nodes are where we've been comfortable and where we've been. So I'm an Aries North node and a Libra South node. So I gravitate to collaboration all the time. Like I am big on collaborating. And sometimes it's to my detriment. Like I want everything to be so harmonious all the time that a lot of times it's to my detriment. Like I'll defer to working with somebody on a project rather than just doing the project myself. Or I won't set proper boundaries sometimes, or I didn't used to. Now I do. Now I speak my mind and I speak my truth. Now it's like, you know what? This is where I need to be and where I want to be, period. Pooh. So, I have no problem doing it now. Okay, Gem, baby. Y'all, I wish y'all could see this. Um, Hang on. Let me go back. You could pretend you're a Sag. I feel like Taurus. I need a. Well, Janelle, I really wish I could give y'all a break, but y'all gonna have this ouch, this Uranus transit till 2026. Settle in. Buckle up, Buttercup. Ouch. Roll with it. The most you'll accept from Nexus friendship. Yeah, Tawanda, I hear you. Went back to the Scorpio. Oh, good. Yes. I can see clearly now. The rain is gone. I can see all the sunshine in my way. You're Pisces South Node. Victoria, did you give me your information? I think you did. I can run your chart. Yeah, the cat. Yeah, Gemini is like, I'm not having it. I don't know what you're talking about, ma. If I had my other my other camera ready, I could show you exactly what she's doing. Okay, baby. All right. And I can see. Da, 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 da. Is Rio leaving? It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Okay, I'll have to look at it. Did you text it to me, sweetheart, or did you send it to me in Patreon? If you texted it to me, I'll run your chart. Yes, Janelle, I was supposed to schedule something with you, and this weekend got away from me. But this upcoming weekend, I've got Friday off. I'm taking family pictures. So Thursday night I'll be up late. So yeah, we're gonna get a lot done this weekend. So if you got time this weekend, we can schedule some time. Okay, let me not try to read that on the screen. Yeah, the nodes definitely do make sense, Rio. How do you know what your nodes are? So if I run your chart, if you look on your natal chart, hang on guys, let me do this because we actually have is it showing? Sorry, guys. Sorry. Let me see how this is showing. Can you guys see that on the screen? Can you see the chart again, or does it look weird? Okay, there we go. Okay, we're back. Now, this symbol right here is North Node. Okay, that's a North Node. This symbol, it's harder to see because I drew over it. Down over here is the South Node. So as far as the galaxy is concerned, we are right now with the North Node in retrograde, actually in Cancer, and the South Node in Capricorn, which really kind of aligns with everything that's going on right now, if you think about it, because we as a collective are aspiring to a deeper psychic, intimate spiritual knowledge, right? Of everything. This whole concept of spirituality and knowing creator and all of this is really huge right now. And because of that, that's why a lot of people are like seeking things even in Christianity, outside of Christianity, what have you. And with the South Node in Capricorn, which is government rules, social mores, morality, all this kind of stuff, restriction, we're seeking to not be restricted in any way, especially spiritually. So and that's where we need to grow from, right? We need to grow from that. So you could definitely even see it on a global collective scale. Okay. Oh, Victoria, take that out. Vic, um, yeah. Hang on, let me take that out. Remove. I don't like people's information put in the chat like that. We'll deal with that. I think I've run your chart, Victoria. Actually, I have run your chart. Hang on. I can. Again. Bear with me. I knew I ran your chart. So, Victoria, your north node is in Pisces, and your south node then would be what's opposite Pisces? Aries? North node Pisces, Aquarius, Capricorn, 3. Yeah. No, wait. 1, 2, 3. Virgo. Virgo. So your north node is in Pisces, your south node is in Virgo. Victoria. Ooh, Aquarius rising. That's tough. Your North Node is in Capricorn. Maybe I might have run yours. Yeah, I don't know. Child, look, I'm tired. Okay. I have to count. Yep, being uncomfortable is okay. And I'm going to tell you something. The more you guys work on your North Node stuff, I should know that, right? Libra's opposite Aries, because that's what I am. The more you work on your North Node stuff, actually, the better you feel. So the more that I like expand and I speak my truth, and I'm just like, you know what? This is what I want to do and how I want to do it. And I don't, the more I have this belief in myself, because in a way, in a weird way, the Libra South Node actually shows up as I feel like I need to collaborate with somebody in order to be successful. Like I can't do it on my own. And they're playing. Virgos come in here. Um so the more that I just kind of go it on my own and believe and say, "Oh, I can do this," like I believe in myself, the better I feel, right? So a lot of this stuff, I know you guys, isn't that crazy? I don't even want to say anything because they're just over here playing. Um, my two familiars. Um, Virgo is the aggressor. Can I tell you right now? Virgo is the absolute aggressor. She just like pounces on her sister, and sometimes I have to get her up off of her, like, cut it out, you know? She's just like, ugh. Poor Gemini is like, man. See? Well, I told you. Now Virgo's over here, the aggressor. Now you're going to chase your long tail. Anyway, cat break. Um, so, but the more that I go on my own and do it on my own, hey, ouch. Calm your nerves down. The better I feel. So breaking out and doing things even if other people may or may not like it. Just because I believe in it. So I want to do it. So that's why you're going to see a lot of different stuff on here. Like I'm about to drop some I'm putting together, it's going to take me a minute, but I'm putting together a video about the science of manifestation. It's incredible and I love it. I love it. And so I don't know how many people are going to get it. I don't know how many people aren't, but I'm like way into it. So we're going to be doing a lot of that. Hey, calm your nerves down. Poo poo. Oh, good Lord. Virgo is a lioness in her past. She must have been. She was real aggressive. Come on, baby. Come on, Jam. I know she's rough. She plays too hard. So yeah. Just just break it. No, Jim, don't climb up me. Just come on up here. What else, guys? Consistent structure as a Virgo North Node. Oh, I wish I had a consistent structure. That's hard for me too, though. As a Cancer, like I can come up with some of it being a Capricorn rising, but it's really hard to be structured for me sometimes. What's really sometimes difficult for me is finishing a project. Like I will start it. I'm great at starting, but finishing is rough. You watch a lot of Bruce Lipton. Well, and I don't want to talk too much about this, but just suffice to say that there's somebody that I just watched a interview of, and watched their interview on another channel. And while they weren't necessarily talking about the science of manifestation per se, they didn't get into that esoteric part of it. What struck me was like, oh my gosh, hey, I was like, oh my gosh, this person just explained the literal subatomic physics of manifestation. And no, Virgo, come away from now. Or is that Gemini? Gemini, that's Gemini. Come on, come here, here. I cannot believe this. Gem. Oh, thank you, Jesus. That's awesome. I actually, Janelle, it wasn't even the double split experiment. That's interesting too, though. I need to look into that a little bit more. Um, Gosh, I'm gonna tell you something. I don't really want to discuss it too much because I know that there's people that like lurk in this channel and then they go and they take things I say and then they present them as if they're their own and they present it in a mucked up way. So I just trust. I'm gonna record it. Um, I'm reading this person's book right now, so that I have a really deeper understanding. So it's gonna take me a few days to get it, but we'll get it in the next few days, hopefully by the week before the weekend. I'll drop it here. I'll premiere it here on YouTube because it's really important. So I just can't. I can't go into it too much. When I drop it, and then whoever wants to go and talk about it later can do it. Okay, guys. What other questions? Yeah, Dee Dee, I'm gonna tell you something. This it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy how the science is there. Let me say this very carefully. It's crazy how the science is there that proves the holy text, many different holy texts, but not in a standard Judeo Christian way. And so let me just say this part. Something that this individual said resonated with me so much of how the Judeo Christian structures and probably others, not even just Judeo Christian, but how the majority of religions now, right, are so patriarchal that they completely denounce or just don't even acknowledge the divine feminine, right? We've had this level of divine masculinity for so long and being so overbearing because of physical, human men really wanting to stay and be in this position of power simply because, oh boy, simply because of a little bit, strength or power, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Physical, but absolutely denouncing or not acknowledging at all the divine feminine. And when we know in physical, as it is above, so it is below, right? So if here on earth we have to have a male and a man and a woman in order to procreate, in order for creation to actually happen, not saying anything about anybody's sexuality or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. But that's just reality, right? Male and female come together and procreate. Why is it, where's the divine feminine? Where is she? And when you bring her up, right, then it's heresy. When in actuality, as I began to think about this a little bit more, this isn't even manifestation. This is a whole nother video that we're gonna get into in a lot deeper way. When you really then consider it, why could it not be that when the in the Bible it says, let us make man in our image. Why couldn't the us, and then we believe in the Holy Trinity, Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. Well, why isn't it Father, Mother, and Son? Right? Because to have a son, shouldn't there be a mother and a father? Whole nother thing. Very misogynistic, right? But where's the divine feminine? Where is the divine feminine in the creation story, or the version of creation that we've been told and taught? Where is it? So, yes, this rise of the divine feminine really is natural and normal. In astrology, we have Gaia as the mother, right? And Uranus as the father of all gods, right? Of all of these energies. Um, but and in a lot of other previous to what we know now, there's typically been a not only just a acknowledgement, but a reverence for a divine femininity. So where is that now? And so that's really, so that's coming up and coming out now. So you cannot do, there's polarities, there's opposites, there's all these things, but they come together in order for creation to happen. So when we can embrace both and not elevate one over the other, because I believe now we've kind of swung to this, everything is about femininity. I'm like, okay, I get it. I'm not right? I'm not anti woman, but I don't seek, like, we shouldn't be seeking to be. To me, I don't need you to tell me I'm equal. I don't. Because I can rest and rule and abide in my divine femininity in a way that doesn't need to be validated by your divine masculinity. Because in actuality, I'm still asking you to validate me as who I am. No, I can be who I am, and I am who I am, period. So it's this kind of like this dance, right? And as I go through, and I'm so glad that I was directed to kind of to get into the astrological aspects of everything esoteric, because it opens up the possibilities and the realities of a divine feminine energy in a beautiful way, and an empowerment where I'm not seeking validation from any earthly person. Victoria, read up on those nodes. So not like you. Yes, Victoria, your North Node is not like you. Well, and yes, Tawanda. So that's the evolution, right? We come through the Dark Ages, and the femininity was, and divine feminine um, was somehow toppled over and believed to be the weaker sex. I'll say this, and I don't mean to offend. That, however, is not is not the belief systems or the spiritual systems of the African continent, of the Native American continent, the native that were here on the North American, that you find in the European continent. Just saying. Originally, it was the father, mother, and son. Yes, but yes, devalued Mary's position in Judaism and Christianity. But in Kemet, it was Asar, Aset, and Heru. Yes, exactly, Tawanda. So that's why a lot of people, like the standard Christians or charismatic Christians or whatever, will be like, why y'all praying to Mary? Right? Mother Mary. She's revered in Catholicism, in the Roman Catholic Church, because Catholicism was this amalgamation of Gnosticism, right? Of kind of this, what you would call paganism, or what some people call paganism, and Christianity. So there was this like need to bring it all together. I believe, in fact, I know if you look through Hebraic history, there are many more female leaders than is in the Bible, and female judges, and there is a reverence of motherhood. But the version, and it really irritates a lot of people when I say the version, but we have to get to a point. I did not intend to get into all of this tonight, y'all. We got to get to a point where we're finally willing to say, to call a thing a thing. There's a reason why it's the King James Version. Well, what is a version? Let us look up the definition of version. What is the definition of version? Version, a particular form of something differing in certain respects from an earlier form or other forms of the same type of thing. The second definition of the word version is an account of a matter from a particular person's point of view. He told her his version of events. Mm. Can we just let that sit and simmer for a second and marinate? So the version of the Bible that we have been living on, and all of this has been whatever, that Christianity has been, modern Christianity has been based on, is a version. It is King James's interpretation, his account, his interpretation of a particular, of the holy text from his particular point of view. Hello. Excluding all the things they didn't want us to be aware of. Excluding all the things, especially at the time in which it was written, he did not want. Of course, he wouldn't want the commoners, the common people, to know that they had the spiritual power and abilities that they did, and that they could attain. Of course, he didn't want them to know that. Of course, he wanted them to think that there was some piety in suffering, and there was some piety in being poor and being subjugated and being slaves or indentured servants. Of course. There was some piety in being subservient and being submissive. Child, in my world history class, freshman year of high school, we learned the conference/council that decided which books of the Bible would be canon and which would be left out. Yes. So a group of men who were in power and didn't want certain things to be in certain things. Hello. Child bye. But get out of here. You know what? I have I used to. I don't think I have it. I probably do somewhere. I do have a Hebrew. I actually have a Tanakh. So the entire Old Testament, as the Christians call it, straight from, it is what was written, as much as we can tell, right? As much as we could believe. And at some point, I was learning Hebrew, and learning to read it. Very different. Very different. Um, some of those recounting things are some things that were recounted are very different when you go back to the original. And if you could actually get to the Sanskrit, you would even be much more, that's the other thing, like, like with like the Reiki symbols and stuff that are in Sanskrit, and then like the traditional Christians, but like that's heresy. No, it's not. Jesus wrote in Sanskrit. Hello. So you cross-check your King James version. Those slight differences make a huge difference. Yes, they do. One of the better or more luminary versions, of the Bible that you can read is also the Amplified. I really like the Amplified, um, because it does give many, many more meanings to certain words, and gives you much different context. But it could change the entire thing. So just to give you an idea, and I'm not even talking about the books that were excluded at this point, but just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. Um, so the in we all know the King James version of the, um, Moses coming down off the mountain, with the Ten Commandments, and which he came down with more than that, and finding the Hebrew children, and they're like, because he was up there for 40 days and 40 nights, and they couldn't keep it together, so they was all like tripping and having this big huge thing, right? And they asked Aaron for a god because God wasn't coming down to talk to them, and so they threw all their gold into a fire, and if you watch the movie, the old movie, the Ten Commandments, they bring this golden calf out of this fire, right? They fashion a golden calf. If you read the Hebraic and understand what was being done at that moment, it wasn't just gold necklaces and gold earrings, not just any old pieces of gold that was being thrown into this fire. They were all Egyptian spiritual symbols made out of gold that people would wear around their necks, they would wear in their ears, thrown into this fire. And in the original Hebraic version or telling of the story, when it says that the calf came out of the fire, the word there really means leapt. It had motion. That calf jumped out of the fire. They had created something that had life. If you study anything with the Kabbalah, right, Jewish mysticism, Judeo Christians will be like, oh God, no, that's terrible. Mm. Golems truly did exist. Truly did. They were able to give life to kind of Frankenstein zombie kind of things, entities. So there's a lot of spiritual power that we possess that was snatched from us, because if we understood that power and could wield that power, we would topple over governments. When Jesus says, you will speak to a mountain and cast it, and say go and cast it into the sea, does that mean a physical mountain being thrown into the ocean? Or does that mean a mountain as in governmental structures, power structures, and being able to cast them into the sea, into people, into dethrone them? Hmm, I'm just saying. So, at some point in the future, we'll probably go into the lost books of the Bible. That would be fascinating to go through those and really start unlocking some power, child. Really, 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 really. Explaining symbols, yes, Janelle. It's just it's fascinating. Okay, guys, I gotta get going. We've been on here an hour and a half, y'all, and my brother then called me. I gotta call him back, and I gotta go to work tomorrow. Tomorrow's my Friday. This has been great. I haven't had an opportunity to sit here and talk to y'all in a long time. So, Neville Goddard. Yep. Yeah, he is. Okay, y'all. We're gonna get together tomorrow night. And go over by sign. We'll pull some tarot cards and go by sign. Okay, we'll do full mood readings. Um, tarot readings tomorrow. And then Friday, hopefully, if everything works out, I'd love to do like I'll probably record some sort of meditation and put it up during this time too. So we're going to be doing some collaborations as well with some other readers. That's coming up soon. So I got a lot of things coming. And we're going to all be learning some real deep things. We're going to go deep. So enjoy it, right? And anybody that have not done their natal charts yet, I think I only have one or two left. We will get them done here shortly. And I'm continuing to put out personal readings. If you haven't gotten yours yet, it's on its way. All right, guys, I'm going to let y'all go. Peace, love, blessings, and joy be unto you today, tomorrow, and for all eternity. Remember, check yourself before you wreck yourself. Don't get flipping by the mouth now. Just look at a thing and don't spew off just yet. Let it play out. All right, we'll talk to you guys soon. I love you guys. Namaste.